Alright guys, 6 o'clock in the morning, and see if I can wipe this off a little bit. Phone camera, and for any of you Karens out there that are going to try to say something, hands are on the wheel, got my seatbelt on, phone is mounted. Been a while since I've posted anything, and for those of you that follow me, I apologize. But here's a few updates. I'm thinking about getting back into my YouTube. You're just going to have to deal with me turning down the lights from time to time because, well, there's other cars on the highway. But, so, it is 2023, and, February the 27th of 2023. And, I don't know why I was trying to turn that out. So, this vlog is totally unscripted. Can't really say it's unrehearsed because I've been thinking about doing a vlog, just a general update, for a few days now. I think the last update that I did was Tiffany and I had been together about a year. I haven't actually looked at my last YouTube, so those of you that follow my video game, the stuff I do with video games, ooh, excuse me, I'm gonna have to, for one, I'm gonna have to get a new video capture module, because just in the events that have happened, I have lost parts, and all that I have left now is the video capture module itself. I no longer have a laptop to edit and splice, because those of you that remember, my video capture module could only capture 2 gigabytes of video at a time, which was, if I remember correctly, right at 27 minutes of record time. And most of, shit, gotta drop my speed. Most of my videos, especially my video game videos, were more than 27 minutes. I would like to pick up on Resident Evil 4 again and continue with the storytelling, highlighting it, trying to see if we can get through Easter eggs. I would definitely like to pick up on New Vegas again. New Vegas is a game that I direly love. But updates, as before, I said I do have a few updates to tell you guys, for those of you that follow me. Tiffany and I are still together, still going strong, still, you know. And it looks to be that Tiffany and I are heading towards marriage. We've hit a few bumps in the road, but that's neither here nor there. My time is very precious. That's a lot of the reason that I haven't uploaded in the last year, possibly 2 years. Like I say, I haven't really kept up with the time. So, last video I did that I know of was the airsoft video, which I was trying to. at the time I was trying to get up a kind of an outdoors theme for my channel, and I was trying to start at the bottom, work my way up, which for all of my outdoor activities, my airsoft guns was definitely bottom of the chain. I may, as goofy as it sounds, I may start doing reviews on friggin' Nerf guns, because thanks to the kids, I have an entire arsenal of Nerf guns now. So, because kids are kids, and kids don't want to listen and follow simple rules, the airsoft guns have been all but forgotten about. I have not purchased airsoft BBs in pretty much since the first month I got those guns. Simply because the kids, like I say, they don't want to follow simple rules. And I mean, yeah, I mean, while airsoft guns are guaranteed non-lethal and they're not going to penetrate, they can still leave some pretty nasty marks if you're too close. And of course, there is the imminent danger of eyes and lips and etc., etc., etc. So yeah, I mean, the airsoft guns have been all but forgotten about. We have, however, incurred quite a collection of Nerf guns. So I still have my air rifles that I hunt with. Fortunately, they have not found their way to a pawn shop, at least not permanently. They have found their way to a pawn shop once or twice, temporarily. And anyone who's ever had kids, been married, and ever had a hard time with money, you probably understand where I'm coming from. And I may still do, at a future date, I may still do videos on those, give reviews on those. My video game videos, unfortunately, I'm probably not going to pick up on those anytime soon. For the simple fact, here's an update on my consoles. Last time you guys touched base with me, I think I had 4 consoles. The Nintendo 64, the PlayStation 2, original Xbox, and Xbox 360. So update, I now have 6 video game consoles, only one of which that I play. I have a Sega Genesis, and the main reason that I don't play it as much as you would probably think I do, excuse me, primarily cartridge games are a little easier to mess up if you don't take care of them properly. And let's face it, my kids are, I wouldn't say they're the world's worst at taking care of something, but they still lack that responsibility. And with 6 personalities, plus me, plus Tiffany, plus Darwin, it makes things difficult to keep up. You know, it makes it difficult to keep up with my cartridge-based games. Not only that, the Sega Genesis is only a coax connection. Very, very few TVs have a coax connection now. Now, to add a little salt and seasoning to this mix, coax connections require a lot of cords, require a lot of aggravation. We have incurred a new puppy in the mix that likes to chew on cords. I have recently lost two battery chargers for the simple fact that this puppy cannot keep her teeth off of things that do not belong to her. So Sega Genesis is tucked away in a closet. I haven't hooked it up for the simple fact that, you know, it's aggravating. Stepping up to the Nintendo 64. Nintendo 64 is pretty much the same argument. I have not hooked it up for the simple fact that the only connection I have is the AV connection. While my TV does have AV connectors, it's just aggravating. And again, there comes the argument of get my words straight. It's like I said, guys. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. I've only had 1 cup of coffee. While I'm awake enough to drive, I'm not really awake enough to mentally function and get my thoughts together. Like I said, this vlog video was completely unscripted. Sorry about that. I don't know if my internal light messes with other drivers as much as it does me, but anyways. So, Nintendo 64 is just aggravating to set up, and I would have to, in order to do videos on my Nintendo 64, I would have to get a converter that converts AV to HDMI. or a video capture module that accepts HDMI. Either way, I'm going to be looking online, and no promises, but whenever I get some play money and I'm not spending it on other things, I will see about getting a video converter that might convert, instead of going to a USB flash drive like I was doing, which requires a laptop and video editing, see about getting one that goes to an SD card so that I can put it on my phone and go from there. Yeah, I think that would be kind of nice. But again, that's going to have to wait until I get play money to play around with. Because, well, I'll finish this update and then I'll go on to the next update. Okay, so next in line, Nintendo 64 still works. It's just I don't plug it up very often. Because of the simple fact, number one, it's aggravating. It's AV cords and cartridge-based games. And cartridge-based games are a little more aggravating to keep up with than disc games. Okay, so now PlayStation 2. Good news, bad news. PlayStation 2 still works. It has long cords. It's fairly small. The disc games are easy to keep up with. But the bad news is that the disc drive, for whatever reason, went out in my PS2. PS2 still fires up, still works for the most part, but the disc drive will not recognize discs. I put a disc in, and it says that it's reading, but it always comes out to cannot read a disc, which I'm not entirely sure if the motor is just wore out and it's not spinning the disc fast enough to read it, or if it's the laser. A buddy of mine, my coworker, who's a little more knowledgeable than me, said it's very likely that the laser just got used too much and burned out. So PS2 is definitely, because PS2 uses memory cards, and I don't have to worry about internal memory or anything like that, definitely in the market for another PS2. But again, that's got to wait until I get the play money to spare, and my mind isn't on other things. Next in line is the Microsoft Xbox. Now that one is a clustercluck all the way around, because of the fact that the Microsoft Xbox has all internal memory. All internal memory. My Microsoft Xbox, as far as I can tell, I ripped it apart and tried to do a clean out just to see if that would fix the problem. It did not. My Microsoft Xbox will not turn on at all. And as best as I can tell, when I ripped it apart, there is the motherboard that has all of the working components, the disk drive, the internal memory, all of that good stuff. But it also has another board along the side of the console that seems to only deal with the power source. Now, while it appears that my motherboard is in good condition, the other board that seems to only deal with incoming power, I call it a power board, power board's fried. It cannot make a connection for whatever fucking reason. The power board does not allow the console to turn on and do what it does. So the Microsoft Xbox is also out of the question. Now around to Xbox 360. Xbox 360 is probably my most played console. I have the most games for it. It has a detachable memory source. It has the hard drive that comes off the top. Here's the problem. This is my luck. Okay, so you guys, I don't know if you remember, but I had an Xbox 360 that worked for forever and a day, and then the disk drive went out. It stopped reading discs, and right before me and Tiffany got together, I ordered one from eBay, and it worked phenomenally. But because I did not have internet connection, I couldn't transfer my licenses. So that meant every little speck, every little speck, every little spat of downloaded content I had, I couldn't use it. That meant all of my downloaded games, the extra content that I had purchased for games like Black Ops 2, none of it was any good because I did not have the licenses on that console. Okay, so fast forward to about 3-4 months ago. Once again, my disk drive goes out. But this time the disk drive didn't go out and just stop reading disk. This time the disk drive, I'm not sure if it's the power source. I'm not entirely sure what the problem is. I have yet to identify the problem. But, let me rephrase that. I have yet to identify the source of the problem. The problem is that the disk tray will hang up. It will not take and it will not eject disks properly. And just for the simple joy of it, I ripped the console apart down to the bare essentials to just to see if I could get it to work. And it does. It still reads discs. Problem is that because the disk drive hangs up, it hangs up literally, I mean, a microspec. Like, I mean, you could probably thump it and make it work if it didn't hang up. But it hangs up right as the tray inserts. And the console recognizes it as, oh, the tray is still open. So I could leave the console ripped apart, use it as is, but there is the risk of 6 different personalities, all of them with little bitty fingers, that get curious and either don't realize or don't care of the imminent danger of exposed electronics, stick their little fingers in there like, ooh, maybe I can fix this, and then zap, you know, and that's a major problem. Now, that being said, this past Christmas of 2022, Tiffany decided to do me a favor. She got 2 items for me, 2 very interesting items. And those of you that want to see it, let me know about it in the comments, and I'll do a video on it. She got me a launch edition Halo 3 Xbox 360 console, complete. I mean, all parts of it are original launch edition. Now for the bad news. Once I had gotten it connected to my TV, hooked up and everything, I'm like, okay, you know, let's rock this joint. Let's go with it. I had just repurchased my copies of Black Ops and Black Ops 2. Because those 2 games, there it is. Those 2 games allow me to play the Zombies minigame. Now, once again, my licenses are still on the other 360, so my downloaded content is not available. However, the Zombies minigame is still there. Now, for those of you that are familiar, in Black Ops, you have Kino der Toten and 5. And once, I can't remember if you have to complete the storyline or there's something you have to do, but you can unlock the Dead Ops arcade. And in Black Ops 2, you have the basic levels of Green Run for the zombies minigame. And so I'm like, okay. And I get my boys in there. We get what little bit of time that we can for game night. And I fire it up. I've got all the cables connected correctly. It you know, it fired up, did like it was supposed to. Came to the home screen, put the disc in, and it red ringed. 10 minutes of a brand new console and it red ringed. I was livid. I was beyond upset. I was beside myself. I mean, there are so many adjectives and comparisons that I could come up with, and it would fit the statement. But within 10 minutes of playing the game, we had, I mean, literally just signed in, literally just got the game running, went to the zombies mini game. We set up the match. We set up, you know, all of the selected level. Did the set the difficulty. We were about to get started. The TV screen kind of did this funky Matrix etch type scene. It wasn't the falling green characters like the Matrix, but it did this kind of etchy glitch type thing. And I'm like, okay, so let's restart the console, see what's wrong. I hit the power button again to fire it back up, and it red ringed. Oh, I was livid. So okay, Xbox 360 out of the picture until considering it's a brand new console, right out of the plastic. I really want to take it to someone that specializes in that, and yeah, I would very much like to get that console seen about and repaired. Because that's just, you ever have a bad day, that's just icing on the cake. And now finally, for the new addition to the family, I now have an Xbox One. Not a Series X, or whatever the next gen is. The next gen is something X. I have the X, because there was like the S and the X. I have the X, but I do not have the next gen X, if that makes any sense. And we've been rocking that one out, you know, pretty regular. I've gotten back on Xbox Live, thank God. I've connected with one or two old friends. Most of the friends that I had, yeah, they've moved on to bigger and better things. My buddy Buzzard, I believe, has went on to military. My other friend, who we played Rainbow Six Vegas quite a bit, he also went on to military. I got a little thing in his bio where he went on to the Marine Corps, so hoorah, Semper Fi. But so yeah, I've been rocking out Xbox One. Lately I've been stuck, well, not really stuck so much as hooked on a game called Rainbow Six Extraction. Perhaps some of you know this game. Really addictive, really fun. It's a different spin on the Rainbow Six series, but it is 100% online. Even if you play solo, it's still 100% online. And it's also, it's kind of a mini game setup. There really isn't much of a story to it. It's more of a like it's designed for multiplayer. I mean, it's designed for friends to get together and rock it out. There's not really much of a storyline, and really there's no way, let me rephrase that, there's really very few ways that the game can be predictable. There are some parts of the game that are predictable, but for the most part, there really is no way to make it predictable. The only, and I do mean the only part of that game that is even remotely predictable is the training mode, and that's, well, it's training. It's designed to give you a crash course into the game and help you get set up. So there's the games. Now, those of you that follow my vape videos, I have some new mods. I still have... I never did a video on this one. But I still have the Geek Vape Aegis Legend. I've had that mod for quite a few years. They say it's indestructible, and it's I put it to the test, and it so far so good. I can't complain about it. Okay, so other update. Different vehicle for those of you that pay enough attention. And I mean, there just may not be enough here for you to really pay enough attention to know that this is a different vehicle. This vehicle's not mine, but I'm borrowing it for the time being because it's a set of wheels. It's back and forth to my place of business, or my work, my job, whatever you want to call it. Because the Buick Terraza, those of you that remember it, I had a Buick Terraza minivan, and I'm gonna just say some things happened. Those of you that want to know in detail, hit the comments, I'll let you know. I'll do a little bit more detail about it, but it was just, it was ugly. So, I sold it. Now, those of you that remember, I also have a white Nissan pickup. 2-wheel drive, 4-banger engine, simple as simple gets, but it's my work truck. And it does its job phenomenally. About 3 weeks ago, maybe 4, coming home from work, I'm kind of half-ass paying attention. I'm really tired, and among other things, I mean, mainly I was tired, but among other things, I'm kind of half-ass paying attention. And this little knothead white-tailed buck runs out in front of me. He might have been 95 pounds. Holy carp, this fog's thick. I didn't really notice this fog was so thick until that car was coming my way. So, yeah, I hit a deer. And like I say, I had no idea that there was a deer in front of me, any at all, until I seen him limping off. And there was no external injury to the deer, nothing that you could see. But I still had over an hour before I got home. And those of you that eat wild meat, you know that death by impact, there's something on the inside that is broken. And there's a chance that the meat has been fouled. And if you can't harvest said animal within, I would say within about 20-30 minutes, then you're taking a risk on getting a hold of some really foul meat. Like I said, I still had over an hour before I got home. So, I feel bad about it, but things happen. So anyway, my Nissan is out of, well, it's not out of the picture. I still have the truck. I just, I have some cosmetic issues to fix, and then I have some internal issues to fix because that led to the engine overheating. And fortunately, once again, being an older model engine, being an older model truck, it would be seemingly a simple fix. Definitely be more simple than one of the newer engines. Okay, so other updates. I don't go hunting like I used to because of the simple fact that we had to move. And now I am living... I'm living in city limits. I'm living in the city. I am literally 4 blocks away from the main shopping district. So, I mean, it just... Those of you that know me, whether you know me personally or you know me through online vlogs, you know that I'm a country boy. I love my woods. I love my hunting. I love to get out and do things. And I don't have that opportunity. I mean, I get out in the backyard with the kids, and sometimes all I do is sit in one spot and make sure that they don't get into any shenanigans that will land a hospital trip. Then other times, like I said earlier in this video, we grab some Nerf guns and we get to it. But speaking of which, here's another idea for for videos to post. I have begun teaching guitar. At least I'm attempting to. And right now I'm battling against attention span issues. So there's that. I'm hoping in the near future to find a fairly cheap youth model beginner guitar that they can kind of get their fingers around, and you know, the last couple of times that we sat down, you know, to learn about it, it's been identifying the parts of the guitar, the string tuning, things of that nature. We haven't actually tried playing anything yet. Now, the other day, I had tried to teach them their first song, or at least part of it. And I don't know how it came to my mind, but I had fell upon Sweet Dreams by Marilyn Manson. And some of you are probably like, why that for a first song? Now, I know it seems a little bit unorthodox, but all of my kids, every single one of them, can, if they don't enjoy it, they can at least get along with rock, more so than country. Anyone who's played a guitar for 5 minutes already knows that the easiest music to play, aside from oldies like Beatles, Elvis, so on and so forth, is country. So kind of to try to find something that's kind of upbeat, that can catch their interest, make them want to play it, I tried to go with something that's rock. I landed on Sweet Dreams by Marilyn Manson, and right now only focusing on the opening bars, because the opening bars are, it's 3 strings, and it's just a little, it's kind of a walk. It's a little bit of switch up, not very much. It's not very difficult once I really sat down and listened to it, and had the opportunity to pull my guitar out and play around with it. I had the opening bars within 2 or 3 minutes. Did not take me very long at all, and so yeah, I mean, it seems to be a fairly, I mean, altogether, I think it's like 5, maybe 6 notes altogether that's being played. So once again, it to me, I think that's a really, really simple part to learn. And then there are other parts of the song that build up, and it uses power chords. Power chords are considerably easier than your major chords, or your full chords, I should say. So yeah, there's that, and I can start doing a blog on that. There's also the opportunity for a blog on fixing my pickup as soon as I get the parts that I need. again, I haven't really gotten the parts because, let's face it, car parts are expensive. Now, on to the next potential, and I haven't posted in a while. I now have an Instagram account, and I haven't posted in a little while to my Instagram on it, but I have a project that I'm doing with the kids that this past Christmas we decided to spend a very pretty penny, and we purchased this item from Walmart that is called the Skyfort 3. From a company called Backyard Discovery, and it's like I said, it was a pretty penny. So it is a I think the guide said it's like a 23-hour project requiring 2 people, which I've only been able to dedicate, 30 minutes, a couple hours at a time, and I'm only able to dedicate that amount of time on weekends because I've been doing this video for about 36 minutes now, and I'm still nowhere near my job. I drive an hour and a half every day, Monday through Friday. But that's what I do to keep a good job, to keep a stable job, to provide for my family and keep food on the table. Or at least keep money in my pocket and provide for everything that the rest of the household does not provide for. So there's the update, guys. I don't think I've left anything out, at least nothing important. Oh, say the best till last. Now, those of you that follow me, those of you that know me personally, you all know that I have children of my own. I didn't just adopt. Yes, Tiffany had children, and when I met her, I accepted those children as my own. They call me Dad now. And of course, we have Bradley. Those of you that follow my Facebook and my TikTok and my other accounts, we have Bradley, which Bradley is not, he's not my blood. Tiffany was pregnant when I met her, and with Bradley. But that boy calls me Daddy, and he's 3 now. Woof, time goes by. But as far as Bradley's concerned, I am Daddy. But those of you that know me, even remotely on a personal level, I have children of my own blood that I created back in 2012. Now that story is is basically a country song. I mean, whew, that was 5 years of my life that I'll never get back. But I have 2 wonderful, beautiful children that came out of it, and they have added to the mix of the other 4. And no family is perfect, and children are children. We have our shenanigans that we deal with. We have our hiccups that we deal with. But so, quick overview. My ex-wife, who is the mother of my children, we got together, boy meets girl, girl gives birth to baby, and then I mean, just things happen. I cheated, she cheated, not necessarily in that order. I mean, just things happen. Our relationship became toxic. And, like a moron, I put forth the money and took her down to the courthouse and I married her. Legal, binding contract, no prenup, married her. And the reason I say that I'm a moron is because at the time I was foolish enough and naive enough to believe that that marriage certificate could be a band-aid for our relationship. It wasn't. It did not fix the problem. That was just a band-aid over a bullet hole, as a mechanic friend of mine says. So we had a good relationship for 8 months, and the rest of the 4 years and some change was all toxic. The 3 years that we were together was just, it's bad memory. So, but out of all that came a little boy and a little girl. And for the last 5 years, she put me in a position that I was forced to leave. When I left, I was showered with promises of, oh, you'll be able to talk to them whenever you want to. We'll see about arranging, you get summers with them while they go to school here, whatever, blah, 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 blah. That never happened. She became bitter, and she just became, I mean, there are 1,000 words that are coming to mind, none of them appropriate to post publicly. So I'm gonna just, if you can't say nothing nice, don't say nothing at all. Now that being said, children did not have a very high opinion of me, and I didn't have very much opportunity to interact with them and let them form their own opinion. But everything came to a head previous Thanksgiving, November 2022, and she had reached the end of her road. She'd played the game too much, and now it was game over. And she asked me, I believe it was the third time that she had asked me, can you come get the kids? Now, of course, just like the previous 2 times, I said, tell me a time and a place, I'll be there. I don't care the distance, just tell me a time and a place. Now, the previous 2 times, for like 5 or 10 minutes, she was given the sob story of, we're homeless, or this is happening, that's happening, and I just can't do it anymore, you need to come get the kids, whatever goes through her lopsided head. But this time, the story remained the same. They were at a homeless shelter and could no longer stay there. And we went. And some of you are going to probably think down on me of this, but try to understand that we're not talking about going across town. We're not talking about traveling 30 minutes or 45 minutes. We're not talking about, and not even the same state, not even the same time zone. I'm in Georgia. She was in Texas. But like I said, for 3 days, the story remained absolutely the same. At the time, we were on vacation. We were at Panama City Beach. We were enjoying what we could of Thanksgiving, trying to do something a little bit different than just sit down, eat, and then resume normal day. And we did. Everyone had a blast. It was absolutely wonderful. I loved it. But she hit me with that. And those of you that want me to recap some of Panama City Beach, I will see what I can do. Story remained the same. When we got back that following Monday, I called her and I said, do you still want us to come? She said, yes, I only have a few more days before we're on the street homeless. I said, okay. At the time, I had a little bit of money put back. My in-laws, who I live with, or who we live with, I should say, because Tiffany, they're her part of the family, but they're just as much part of my family as they are hers now. We've been through our ups and downs, we've been through our ins and outs, and just like Tiffany, these are people that I would fight and die for. Now, all that being said, those of you that follow my TikTok, there is a video that I uploaded on December that I've had several people ask me, what's the point of this video? Because it just says, I hope this wasn't a wasted trip. That was when I was going to get Brian a bug. And now, after 5 years, I'm finally able to see Brian and Bug again. I'm finally able to hug them, put clothes on their back. I'm finally able to sit down at the dinner table with them. And it's just, it's the most wonderful feeling in the world. Okay, so there's all the updates that I have. I apologize for such a long video of just me talking and driving. So hopefully this will shed some light on why things haven't happened like I want them to, and possibly like you guys want them to. And this is my driveway. Okay, this is my driveway. Picking up my coworker. And hopefully I will share another video soon.